The wind is absolutely ridiculous up here, but look at the Las Vegas view from the top of the stratosphere.
Yeah.
Alright, another beautiful day. We are just starting out right here at the Rio. Gonna get right into it today. Today is the Colossus. I am trying to get in for the second round, the 4 o'clock start. I'm here a little bit early. We're gonna poke around and see what's going on. Let's get in there. Sardines. Worth a cool meal though.
Check your tickets before you go.
Alright.
And then your flight B.
Flight B, yep. Cool. Well, here we go. We got our tickets. It is like 2.5 hours till it starts. I think I'm gonna head over here. It's pretty busy. Let's see what we got going into a cash game. Let's free roll our way to this minute. About what, 45 minutes later, they are about to call my name, hopefully.
1-3-C-3 for Ryan, Kevin, Bill, G.
Here we go.
Sean,
Let's do this.
Sam, Josh.
What table number?
Jerry, Danny, Neil, and Sharif. You're 1-3-C-30.
They didn't say what table. Great. Let's crush this thing, free roll this millionaire. Alright, here we are. I just got kinda coolered a queen 9 on a 9-9 deuce board against ace 9 in a cash game before we sat down. Everyone's just getting ready right now. Here we are. We're at table 217 and we're gonna crush it. Quick $1 million. Let's do this. Third level in, pocket sevens versus ace jack, pre-flop, get it all in, flops the jack, I'm out. Working on getting it back. What time is it?
Be the big blind.
It's like 9:30.
2 hours later.
Good to lose the minimum.
Yep.
Lose the minimum.
You've definitely lost the minimum.
Just walked back through the door. Day 1. WSOP. Lots of grinding to be done. I got there, started around 1. It is 12:15 now. So almost 12 hours worth of poker. I got some crazy hands for you guys. Whew. I made some mistakes. I definitely made some mistakes. I made some great plays too. Alright, so I did this a little bit differently. You just saw my chip stack. I'm about to cash out at this point. I didn't film for the first time at the table ever. So it's going to be interesting. So we're going to do this a little bit differently. I don't really prefer this, so I promise you I'm going to start filming at the table as long as they'll let me at the WSOP. We'll see how that goes. I'm sorry I had some people in town, so I've been a little bit busy. We are off to the races, so we're gonna be putting in some work over the next couple weeks. We basically cashed out a couple hands. I think I lost a little bit after that shot of my chips. But let's get right into, I think I have like 5 really good hands for you guys. The first hand started out with a king-queen offsuit. I was on the big blind. The hijack ended up raising to 15, and there were 5 callers. We went to the flop. It was 6-8 queen, 2 diamonds. Immediately the small blind just jams for 67. I have top pair. I do have backdoor diamonds. I think it's way too early to fold, especially to, you know, a pot size bet. I am worried about the people behind me. I'd like to raise, but if I get re-raised, I'm probably in a bad spot. So I'm going to go ahead and flat and see what happens behind me. So I flat, and everybody folds. He says he's on a draw. The next card comes out, boom, jack of diamonds. I'm like, oh, okay, there it is. And then 6 of clubs. And I said, you got the diamonds? And he says, nope, nope, mucks his hand. We take down the pot. I've been getting a lot of hate on people like, oh man, you suck. But the reality is I'm not showing you guys every hand. I'm showing you like the weird hands. So keep that in mind when you're criticizing my play. I'm not the best player in the world. I certainly know that, but and I do make mistakes, but I'm showing you the mistake hands on purpose so we can learn together. So keep that in mind next time you tear me apart, please. So this is a problem I have, and everyone thinks I'm crazy, I feel like, but in a cash game with ace king, I used to always 3-bet. If I was ever raised and I had ace-king, especially from a late position, I would always 3-bet. I started running into positions where if I didn't connect, then I would sometimes bluff myself into punting a lot of money, or I would connect and people assume I have a bigger hand like that and I don't really make much money, so I just started flatting with ace-king in cash games. So I'd like to hear some strategy on this. Watch, and this thing right here is exactly why I don't 3-bet. And like I said, maybe I'm completely wrong, but I like to take the route with like less variance typically, and I think a lot of people say that's a mistake. You should definitely bet ace-king, but let's watch this hand and then let's see where things could have been different, and I'd like to talk about this one in the comments. So as you see here, I got ace-king. There's an early raise to 12. Everyone folds to me. I'm on the hijack, so I stick in the 3-bet to 30. And the raiser calls. So we go heads up. The flop is 9-8-5, all spades. He checks, and I make the continuation bet for $56. He tanks, calls. So I assume he's probably got a spade, maybe, right? The turn is a blank. He could have a pair, he could have anything, so I'm going to pot control at this point. But this is the problem right here. I check now, and it's probably going to show some weakness. But so it goes check, check. Turn with some rag. The river is a 10 of diamonds. And he checks again. What do we do? Do we fire another bullet? Or do we check? I hope ace high is good. I decide, considering this dude is pretty stationy, I'm just going to check. He rolls over, ace of diamonds, 10 of spades. So he had a okay flush draw, but managed to make a pair of 10s in the river. If I bet there, I'm sure he's going to call, so he was probably trying to get me to bluff. So, you know, it's such a shitty hand. I don't like how it plays out. I feel like I just, like, donked off money. Maybe I should fire a second bullet on the turn when the brick comes, but considering the guy's... I think if he calls the flop, he's probably calling the turn, especially where it's a brick. But what do you do? What would you guys do in that spot? Leave a comment. Title it hand number 2 so I can see it easier. Alright, so this next hand, I think I start out with about 430, 450 bucks behind. I have ace-9 of diamonds on the big blind. So there's an early position raise to 15. 5 of us go to the flop. The flop is 10, 8, 7, rainbow. It checks around. The turn is a king of diamonds, so I have the nut flush draw. So I check, the woman behind me checks, and the original raiser bets 45. I call, and the lady behind me calls. So there's 3 of us going to the river. The river is a queen of diamonds. Bink, we got the nut flush. So I'm gonna go ahead and lead out here. It is a back door, so it's pretty disguised. I bet 85. The woman behind me calls. The original raiser shoves all in for 300 more or so. I sit there and fight with it forever, like I don't want to call, but I have to, hoping the woman behind me will come in. I tank, finally make the call. She folds. He says the flush is good, and I shook my head, yes it is. Rolled it over, and he mucked. He said, nice hand, he was a great guy, I really enjoyed playing with him. Kind of bummed that I took him out because he was one of the more interesting people. As he walked away, he also said, I had the flush too. I don't know, didn't really make much sense to me, but very possible, I guess. Alright, this next hand, everybody folds to the button. He decides to raise to 15. This is 1 round later, I look down, the big blind again, ace-3 of spades, and I call. We go heads up to the flop. Flop is queen, queen, 10, 2 spades. So I had the nut flush draw. I check, and he bets. He makes a bet of 25. And I tank. I'm already trying to represent the queen here. This is my plan immediately. I see the 2 spades. I see the 2 queens. I know I have a great semi-bluffing hand. I have a great nut draw. So I'm going to represent the queen in a funky line, hoping to hit a spade along the way, and just, you know, pray he didn't boat up somehow. So after I tank, I make the call at 25, right? If I had a queen, I would flat. Let's see, the turn is a 5 of spades. I take my time to check again, setting my little trap. He decides to bet 60. And I hang around for a while and make the call. And the river was a brick. I sat there for a few minutes and let out for 95. And it was a good 60 seconds or so he tanked. And he folds. We take down that nice pot with a solid line. Nice bluff. Alright, here is the last hand that I will show you today. I'm going to try to keep these videos short, show you the juicy ones. So let's see, this last hand, there's a raise in early position to 15. I'm in the hijack with deuce deuce. I make the call. The cutoff makes the call. The button makes the call. So 4 players to the flop. The flop is queen, deuce, 10. We hit our set. there are 2 spades. The original razor checks. I check. Everybody checks behind. Unfortunately, that's the thing. You want it. You when you're in an earlier position, you hit that set, and you want to check to get that raise in, and it checks around. Man, that always hurts. So we go to the turn. It is 6 of diamonds. The original razor checks. So I stick a bet in of 20. The button ends up calling me along with the original razor. So 3 of us to the river. The river is a 10. Bink. We got our full house. So the original razor checks again. I bet 85. And the button raises to 230. This is ugly. The button is a good player. He is not some idiot. So, you know, I'm pretty sure he's got me beat. I say, I really, really want to put in a raise here, but I can't, and I know I shouldn't, but I have to call. I call. And he turns over the Queen 10. So, we took a hit there. I decided it was time to roll out. I didn't want any other bad things happening for the night. I had a decent recovery considering the cooler I took in the cash games prior to the $560 tournament that I punted off in 3 levels in only 2 hands. It's just that kind of structure. Just such a short chip stack, and we know the structure is crazy, but it's just such a good price for $1 million, man. And that's why so many people show up. We all know it's a shit show, but somebody's gonna win $1 million, and that's what it comes down to. And it was a lot of ups and downs. I didn't film at the table. I had people with me. I was meeting a lot of people, so it was kind of hectic. There was a lot of people there, so shout out to all of you guys. And let me just emphasize, to be clear, it was absolutely amazing to meet each and every single one of you. In the moment of truth. Okay, so, God, don't be mad. Shout out to Matt and Kyle at my first table. There was another guy next to him. Ugh, God, I'm sorry, I forgot your name. I believe a gentleman named Henry came up. Shout out to Henry. Tommy and Rosie. Kenton took a picture with you. The 2 guys in the parking lot. Sorry, I don't remember your names. Anybody else? I'm sorry. It's a lot of names. I'm down money, but it was still an absolutely amazing night just interacting with all you. I hope you continue to come find me at the table, tap me on the shoulder, you know, and I'll talk to you at least as long as I'm not in the middle of a hand. I'll definitely talk to you. Mad love, guys. Thank you so much for coming and saying what's up.